Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Blue Olive's Corner. Look at here, second podcast, and I have another amazing guest. I'm starting to feel popular, guys. Like, people love me. I know. So, today we are going to talk about art, something I love because I am artistic. And we're going to talk about raising Black sons, something I love because it's something I did with the help of God because I didn't know what I was doing at all. It was all God, as a matter of fact. He can just have all of it. And whatever else our guests enjoy speaking about, but we get to know Miss Sinie Duncan. I even love her name. Like, I've never heard of a name like that before. It's so beautiful. So, Sinie, if you could start by telling us who you are, please.
As Miss Janisha just stated, my name is Sinie Duncan. I am a native Washingtonian. I currently reside in DC. Um, I am a mom who just happens to be single, and I have a pretty cool 10-year-old son. He's really fun. Um, I don't know what more to say about me. Like that's pretty much it. No, I lied. I am the youngest of seven kids. So my life has been fun, a lot. Fun being the sarcastic part of me. Um, but I learned a lot from being the youngest of seven children. And right now I am managing a dental practice in DC with hopes that the money that I make there is just the means to an end for my art company. So that is pretty much the bones of who I am right now. Tomorrow I'm probably gonna be somebody else, and that's all right.
That's pretty much what we do, especially as single moms. We become the doctor, the lawyer, the teacher, the counselor, the therapist, the best friend. We just do it all. And honestly, being a mom is my favoriteest job in the whole world. I don't know of anything else that comes close to it.
If and I have to agree with that. To the effect that it has been the only job in my entire life that I feel appreciated. I
Yes,
actually feel the appreciation from my son. Um, Not even about the sacrificing part or the giving things part, but just the relationship that we have. I feel appreciated. I feel seen with him. Um, and in that being and feeling seen as his mom, it drives me to do better.
yes,
Not um not in the instance like, oh, I gotta do this. No, because the what my theory is I am his first everything. I'm his first teacher. I'm his first role model. I am literally let me rephrase that. I'm his second everything. God is his first everything.
right.
So everything he is learning, he's getting from me, which I sourced from God, right? So watching all of that stuff just culminate into this little person and then to watch it start to come out. I'm like, whoo, wait a minute, Holy Spirit, wait. I wasn't ready, but okay, I like it, and I've had somebody tell me that it was arrogance that made me proud of my son. I said, how is that? Why is it that I have to be arrogant to be proud of the stuff that I am teaching my son, to watch it happen? That's not arrogance. That is just a mother's joy. I don't
Right.
think any mother uh, gives life just to watch it wash down the drain. That's we don't do that. So if I tell you that my son has done, or any of if any mom celebrates their child, it's not out of arrogance or pride. It's because I'm watching God work through my child. I am watching the realization of God. God is constantly proving himself to me through my child.
Yeah.
So it's not just as simple as just being a parent. This is the culmination of my faith. This is what I asked for, and I'm getting it. So I really truly enjoy being his mom. It ain't
Yeah.
always fun, you know.
Yeah. Well, it
Um,
can't be always fun. I attended a parenting something that my son's school would happen when they were like in the second or third grade. And I said, let me go see because I want it to be different than the way I was raised. A lot of it was abusive, it wasn't disciplinary, and I didn't want to be abusive. But the lady there didn't make sense. And this is why it's important if you're going to deem yourself a speaker, you should at least understand the vocabulary words you're using. And if you don't know, there's Webster. We had Google then. Had a little bit of Google. You could have Googled it, whatever. But she asked us, "Who in this room is an excellent mom?" And I raised my hand, and it was me and this other lady. She said, "I guess only two of us are excellent." And I said, "No, everyone should raise their hand because number one, we're here, we're listening, we're hoping to learn a different way to do things. And number two, excellence does not mean perfection." And I think you meant to ask us who's a perfect mom. Now, no, I would not have raised my hand on that one because no one in here is perfect. But I say I'm an excellent mom because I strive for excellence daily, especially for my sons. There is a total difference. I have gotten the word excellent written on an exam next to a B, not because I got the B or 100. It was because I gave my best effort and I brought a bad grade up to a B. That was an excellent effort. So when you say who's an excellent mom, everyone should raise their hand in this room, especially because we're listening to someone who doesn't know how to speak that well. But, we're listening to you. And she gave another example of, I think her daughter was going around hitting people. And she said, it doesn't make sense for me to pop her hand and say, don't hit. What sense does that make? I said, well, it teaches her that if she hits, she gets hit. And what you want to do is be the one that pops her hand because if she grows up hitting people, she ain't going to get popped on the hand. She's going to get knocked out. So you might want to be the disciplinarian in that one, whether you pop her hand or put her in timeout or whatever your decision is. But don't put these women down because they decide to spank. Spanking and abuse are not the same. It is this. It is the motive of your heart, and it is what is the reason behind it. So I was like, yeah, we're listening to somebody who I think just figured out they wanted to do this whole speaking thing and don't really know what they're talking about a lot. But yeah, we work with Cameron and Caleb. Even though there was a lot she said I disagreed with, there was a lot she said that I did use. Um, and it made me think of different ways to be a mom to where I wasn't just this dominant monster running around scaring them half to death every day, all day. I actually listened to what they had to say. I still listen to what they have to say because there's some smart people. They're very, very smart. And my favorite form of discipline was taking the Xbox or that PlayStation. It's like, so this going in my room? I get to play? Ooh, okay. One time I took it so long I forgot I had taken them off punishment. I was like, oh snap, this was supposed to be back in your room last week. What had happened was I went to the Super Bowl and I didn't get to finish because, y'all had the games and we was doing stuff and I forgot. But after the Super Bowl, definitely coming back at you. I had to win the Super Bowl first. My bad. My fault, player. I forgot. So, and talking. I love talking to them. I felt like if I taught them what they needed to know, they wouldn't have to figure it out. When I was growing up, I had to figure everything out. Well, you're 5 or you're 6. You should know better. How if you never told me better? it doesn't come from the air and all of a sudden, oh, well, now she's 7 and she's going to know. No, that's not it. But yeah, being a mom is cool. So, what do you do? I know you're a mommy and stuff, and that comes without saying, but you are muted.
Yeah, I was muted because I had some background noise from the little kids outside. Like it sounded like they were outside at a Super Bowl parade. It was super loud, so I muted it while I was in that room.
Oh, I understand. I've had my mom call me and was like, "How many kids you got over the house?" I was like, "Just my 3." So I get that. But the question is, what do you do? We know you are a mom, and that goes, all of those things go without saying. But outside of mommy, who is Sinie? What does she do? What do you like to do? What don't you like to do? Um, and all of those great things.
Okay, outside of being a mom, I am a brand new entrepreneur. Um, Let me not say brand new. I started my art company about 2020 at the beginning of COVID. Um, but I've had to revamp it several times because, and I hope that anybody who is a brand new entrepreneur and who sees this will take this advice. Do what you love. Don't be afraid to do it, but ask for help in the process. Um, I started the business and I was like, boom, I'm gonna make $1 million. Yeah, but how? you know,
Yeah.
and I didn't have the wherewithal to stop and study and do the things that I needed to do on the back end of the business. So I'm really actually revamping everything. Um, so that's that. This is going to be a constant changing thing with how I present my company because it's art, and
Mm.
art never sits still. You can take one piece of art, depending on what it is, and turn it into 45 different things. So, whereas though at first I wanted to have canvases and paintings everywhere, I wanted to be in galleries, and I still do. That's still my ambition. I'm also recognizing that I love home decor. I love pretty stuff in people's homes. I love it. It just makes my heart happy when I walk into a well appointed home. It doesn't even have to be something that I designed, but I just like pretty spaces. And so I am right now building my portfolio to be able to design home interior stuff, pillows, blankets, uh, stuff. If it can go in your house, I'm going to do it. Um, One of my more popular items that I'm doing really well with is my paint pour vases and centerpieces. Um, I love doing those. And it's weird because when I first started learning how to do paint pours, I was like, I ain't good at this because I didn't know how to get the consistency of the paint down. I was like, yeah, nah, I ain't gonna, this ain't it. This ain't it. I don't want it. I don't want to do this no more. So I walked away from it. But then one day I said, no, you really like doing it. Take your time, learn what you need to learn. And I started learning how to get the right consistency of paint and how to layer it a certain way. And once I figured it out, it was over. I was off and running. So I have a bunch of things that I am doing with those. Um, as an artist, I'm still trying to find my niche. I thought that I was going to, I don't know what I thought. I just knew I loved to paint. I can't tell you that I wanted to pattern myself after anyone except one person, Miss Georgia O'Keeffe. I love her work. I have loved her work since I was like 16. Um, it's just something about the way she was able to take a flower and do something to that flower that invoked this emotion in me. I was like, oh my God, why is that red poppy so attractive? Like, why is that so beautiful? And I didn't understand it. But now that I am starting to master the art of creating flowers and not just the petals, but the inner workings of the flower, now I understand why I was so enamored with it. Um,
Wow. I just Googled her. She looks good. Her stuff looks so good.
Listen, she makes me happy every time I see her work. I have a new favorite, Miss Alma Thomas. She's a native Washingtonian too. And one of my patients at my office actually introduced me to her, and I've been stuck on her ever since. And it's ironic that he showed her to me because when he came in, I have a painting at my desk that I did. Well, behind my desk at my office that I did. And he was like, "Is that an Alma Thomas?" I was like, "Who?" And he was like, "Alma Thomas." And I was like, "No, that's a Sinie Duncan." He was like, "You did that?" I was like, yeah. And so I Googled her and I was like, now I understand why you would think that that was Alma Thomas. He was
Wow.
like, and he was like, that is amazing. That looks like Alma Thomas' work. I was like, until you said her name, I'd never heard of her. But she is now one of my favorites. And she is just this, you wouldn't think that someone deconstructing a circle could make you feel joy. But when I looked at her paintings and it's like these deconstructed circles, I was just like, hmm,
This is
I'm happy
beautiful.
about this. I, beautiful work, beautiful work.
This
And
sunset
so
is the bomb. What the? I'm sorry.
see what I'm
Okay.
saying? See what I'm saying?
Yeah. I shouldn't have Googled none of them because I need to focus. So,
Um,
ooh, like I said, yeah,
yeah.
I like art. I love colors. Like Tiny is going to design for me some things to go into my home, like a vase for the kitchen. I kind of want her to design a setting for me.
Don't
Um,
do that. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
so like you know how you have the plates, the saucer, the bowl, the dessert uh, dish, the
Did you
cups.
hear me?
So I
Did you
want
hear
one
me
of
say, don't tell
those.
me that? Because you just gave me goosebumps. Don't do that.
I
Don't do
want
that.
I want one of those because I already told her what my colors were for my kitchen and my living room, and I'm definitely
Girl.
looking forward to my pillows and the. I want her to do my coffee tabletop, but I want it to be
Oh,
marbled.
ooh.
So I guess I get a regular marble table and let her have fun with it. But I want it to be those colors
Gigi,
marbled together.
you don't need it to be marble. You can get a good solid wood table. It doesn't even need to be marble. And I could still do a paint pour on it and make it look like marble. You don't have to
See what
buy
I'm
marble.
saying? See what I have when you have the expert that knows what you want in your head and you don't know what you're talking about, but they do. God loves me so much. So
I did one for my sister. She had gone to the thrift store and gotten this really cool little side table with a round top. And she was like, "Can you do a paint pour on it?" And I was like, "Of course I can." And I did it. And it's like this it's like a navy blue, gray, white, and gold. Oh my Lord.
uh,
It is awesome. It's awesome. And she was like, "Girl." I was like, "I know, girl. Let's go." So yeah, you don't even really need to have um a marbled table itself, just something that's really good hardwood and I can make everything else work.
cool. So now that I know that, ah. But the other thing I know we spent some time in the mom department is because her passion for our black young boys makes me wish I knew her when my boys were younger. Um, she has this mission to make sure our boys are educated. Now, we watched the movie, and I meant to pull it up. Um, Miss Virginia is a 2019 film about a mom from DC who had to
Mm-hmm.
fight like crap to get her son a good education. And it wasn't that these kids weren't smart. It was just you give the right answer and the teacher gives you accolades, you get your butt kicked
Mm-hmm.
after school for being smart. And it made me, Miss Virginia made me think of Sinie. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie or heard of the movie before, but
I
this woman
have.
went through a lot to get something that this man could sneeze and they would give to him in another state. He had to pull teeth and tonsils and do surgeries, and they went through a lot. And I didn't really watch the movie. I heard it because I can't watch movies with other people, especially with other people in this house because they talk too much during the movie. And I like to just watch, and maybe asking questions. I'm watching it with you. I'm gonna find out when you find out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
can I just watch? But I heard it, and from what I heard, it sounded good. So I'm gonna see about watching it if it's on something that I have. Do I have that? I don't know if I have BET. No, I don't have Sling. I'll figure it out. But it's a really good movie. But if you could tell us about your mission for the young boys in not just your area, I think this will be something that's worldwide. Once it gets once the wind blows on it like this, you're muted.
Sorry. I can hear you. I'm
Okay.
fussing at my son because he's got on night clothes and he thinks he's walking out my door in night clothes. We don't operate like that. We do not operate like that. I love you though. Just get your jeans and put some jeans on, and then you can go. But we will not walk outside in night clothes. That is not what a young man does. Okay, I love you. Okay, so sorry about that.
No
Um,
problem. You're nice. I'd
so
be like, oh, so you just don't want to go outside? Is that what you're telling me?
clearly,
That's what you're telling
because
me. You don't want to go? That's fine with me. You don't have to go. I'm okay with it.
right, I'm cool with you staying in the house. But so my how do I explain this? When we started with the group that we were originally in, with Miss Sheila Hill, the 30-day live challenge. I originally got into this thing thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be promoting all of this art and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, da 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 da. But then Sheila started talking to us about our passions and this and that and the third. And at the time that we were going through this, as a matter of fact, 2 days before our first lives, first lives that we had to do 2 days prior, a woman that I'm friends with lost her son to gun violence, right?
Oh, wow.
He had come home for the weekend from school, didn't make it back to school. Broke my heart. I mean, to the point that when I did my first live, it was all I could do to not bust out crying. And I started to understand that, like, these young folks who are out here committing crimes, something got missed. Something got missed. Something that was not instilled in them about who they were or who they are that could be that catalyst to make them think that it was okay to try to take something from somebody and then take their life because they couldn't get that thing. Um, and I looked at my son and I said, no, that's enough. That's enough. We can't continue. We cannot continue like this. It's already enough being a mother of a young black man. It's already enough. Society has already told us that they are at the bottom of the barrel. What we're not going to do, not in this house, is I'm not going to leave you. So I decided from that point on that I was going to make an initiative to be a place of solitude, right?
Mm-hmm.
In that solitude, it wasn't just about, oh, you're safe here. It's you're safe in your education,
Right.
right? Hold on 1 second. You're going to be safe and you're going to be educated. So I started to look at my son's curriculum, and I recognized that it was missing a lot of stuff. Like all of the stuff I grew up learning in fourth grade wasn't even on the curriculum at all. It wasn't on the syllabus. It was nowhere to be found. I was like, oh no, 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 no. How did I miss this? How did he get to fourth grade and I missed it? Okay, so now I'm doing self check as a mom. I can't fail him. And in me being determined not to fail him means that I also have to make sure that I bring other little boys in, because the young men that are attached to him, the young men that he grows up with, the young men that he befriends, if
Right.
something happens to him, if something happens to them, it directly affects my child.
Right.
So it's not just a matter of wanting to educate them. It's a matter of wanting these children to build something within themselves, especially, and I hate that this is even the situation, especially our young black. I remember once, I want to say about a year ago, a young lady that I am social media friends with was making a statement about single mothers throwing their boys into all of these sports, hoping that we can come up on their kids. I was like, no, that's not true. I put my son in everything under the sun because he needs the discipline. It's he needs discipline that I may not be able to give him. I don't spank my son. I think he's gotten 3 spankings in his whole 10 years, and that was because my cup had overflowed. So he's gotten about 3 spankings in 10 years. But the discipline that came with him going to football practice, going to basketball practice, all of that gets smashed down and incorporated into who he turned out to be as a person. So now we have me being a single mom trying to do the best I can. No, not trying. Trying is lying. Um, Me, a single mom, doing the best I can for my son. And
Right.
that means that not only am I educating him or filling in the gaps that the education system is creating, I'm now also coaching him and several of his friends in sport. What I notice when I'm with them is their level of focus is so different because somebody is taking interest in,
Yeah.
somebody is seeing them as individuals. I am just that woman that if your child is in my presence, if they are in my company, as long as they don't bite, I will hug them. I believe in hugging children. I believe in speaking life into children because it's enough negativity floating around in the atmosphere. I don't want to be a source of that for anybody's child. So when your child is with me, I'm going to speak life into them. And I am doing that. Hopefully, my prayer is that as I continue on the path with the young men that I'm working with now, um, I have reached out to several DC officials because I want to start a program. Well, not even a program. I want to have a sit down conference with youth from the age of 10 to 20. I want them all in one room. I don't care their gender. I don't care none of that. I don't care none of that other stuff. I want them in one room because we got to find the source of the problem. And I think the best way to find the source of a problem with children is to let the children talk.
Yeah.
Let them tell us their truth. it's one thing for us to be like, oh, well, this, that, and the third, this is what we said as adults, but it's a whole other thing to listen to them. It's a whole other thing for us to listen to them, right? It's when you listen to a person and they tell you what the concern is, how it makes them feel, you have more space to be able to act in a positive way for that person or that group of people. Dictating to them what their problems are does not work. It doesn't work. And so right now, as a single mom, that is my focus. Let these young men have a safe space to,
Right.
to grow.
That is awesome. Like I said, I wish when my sons were younger that they could have been a part of a program like that. I would try to get my the men in the church involved, whatever. And I was told by one of the elders in the church the way that single moms just did it. We just did it ourselves. But when I was doing it myself, I was told, well, there's things you can't do because you're not a man. And I was like, well, apparently I can raise them because I did, because of how God taught me to raise them. So I am grateful for a program like this now, so it can catch our kids from this point forward. And I like that it's going up to 20 because I know the world says, well, when you're 18, you're grown. No, you're not. You're still a kid. You're not an adult until you at least get to 25, maybe. But you are still a kid. You have no clue how to be an adult. You've never had an adult experience. So I'm not understanding how, because you're 18, we're supposed to all of a sudden know what to do as adults. And that's far from the truth. So you got the art, you're looking after our kids. I believe we're going to see you all over the world just doing some of everything. I just ask that you don't forget the little people when you get big and famous.
I will not forget anybody. I think you were on my live the other day when I was doing my flowers.
Yeah,
Um, I have no intention because I know the work that I've had to do has not been by my hands alone. Sorry, I'm doing weird stuff in the house.
it's
The
understandable.
mission
It
blinds.
happens. But
Um,
yeah, so guys, listen, but that's not all. When I tell you she has a lot of different hats that she wears, I was on a live of hers and I kind of heard her singing a little bit, just a little bit, humming a little tune. Sounded pretty good. Never heard the song before. Was interested in the song after she sang it because that's how good she made it sound. So I'm just saying, she probably gonna be in the studio recording songs, in the art studio making stuff, marching on the streets, talking about our black kids matter, going up in the schools, making sure the schools are teaching what they're supposed to be teaching. As a matter of fact, one of my dreams is to build a school called Vision Academy. So will she be the art teacher? Yes, she will. Why? Because that's
everything is possible.
so yeah. So I'm just saying she's doing some of everything, and God is opening doors for us because we are learning to walk through the open doors and not try to figure out why we couldn't get through that closed window like the bird did when it flew in the house a few weeks ago. Poor baby. It did make it out alive. Hallelujah. So, did you have anything you wanted to share, encourage our audience and friends?
Um, for the most part, I think that everything that you've asked me, has definitely been a great place for me to share my information. I do want to say this though, to any man or woman who sees a problem with our children, let's stop pointing the fingers and start doing the work to help. It's easy to say, oh, your mama and your daddy should have did XYZ. I think us getting back to the whole community, the village, our mindset makes so much more of a difference. It's not about telling somebody else how to raise their children, but it is what it is being a source, being a place where people can find the better parts of themselves, and so that's what the tribe is. That's what the village is. It's us working as a unit because one kid might need 30 people to help get them to their next level.
Yes.
And it's okay for us all to pull together to do that. It's okay. Um, my son belongs to his village. He's I birthed, but at the end of the day, everybody who chose to pour into him, he is a direct effect of their legacy. He will affect their legacy. And legacies are not about money. They are about what you leave behind. And if they are teaching my son self-respect and discipline and love and kindness and all of those core things that life should be about. If they're teaching him that, then he is a direct reflection of that. So, you know, all of these children are our legacy, not just the ones that we birth.
Okay, that's awesome. So, we're going to ask one of those questions that they always ask on the podcasts and whatnot. How would you encourage somebody who is on the fence or just plain scared about starting the thing that they're passionate about?
My dad once told me if I would do it for free, it's my passion, and that I should do it. And even if you are not going in it for money, if you're doing it because you love it, do it because you love it. The money will follow. The money will follow. I will say though, if you are going after the money, make sure that you know your target audience and don't compare yourself to anything or anybody else that's out there. That stumped me for about 2 years in my art. It stumped me because I was watching other people who were artists and I was like, God, I don't do that. That's amazing. And Jennifer Hogue, she had to remind me, these people are trained. You're not. But what you are accomplishing by yourself is amazing. So don't hold yourself to the standard of somebody else. Don't watch what other people are doing. If you need their stuff for inspiration, fine. But do not compare yourself because it will stifle you and you will hold yourself back from your own greatness. So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's amazing. I agree with that, especially don't compare yourself because no two people are alike, and that's God intentional design to not
Right.
have us be alike. Because so that means we're not supposed to be like anybody else. We are supposed to be our unique individual selves, and all together, all of our pieces together um, helps to put His purpose into perspective for all of us. So, no, don't compare yourself because you're not supposed to be like so and so. That's why when I saw
Hmm.
the post, I think it was like Michael Jackson or Prince, I was like, no, I can't do either or because there are things that Michael Jackson does that Prince doesn't do. And there are things that Prince does that Michael doesn't do. They're not two of the same thing. It's not like you're saying Dove chocolate or Hershey's chocolate. Now, those are two of the same products. Which one do I like more? I just like chocolate, so I really wouldn't be of help there. But what you don't want to do is compare yourself. God did not design any two people to be alike, and you may have things in common, but no, you're not alike. Be yourself, and nobody else can be you but you. And you have to be yourself because everybody else is already taken. So you are all that's left. So this was cool. I enjoyed it. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching. I don't know if I said if you're watching live with us to say hello. If you are catching the replay, just hashtag replay. If you don't feel like typing words, you can put in hearts and circles and squares or triangles or just a little something, something. Let us know you stopped by um, to hear from the amazing Sinie Duncan. And I promise you, more good things are to come. So keep watching. If you aren't, follow her. You are welcome in advance. If you don't follow her, don't get mad at me when it's no longer available. I'm just saying. I already told you to follow her while she was followable. It's kind of like the Bible says, "Seek me while I may be found." Yeah, you want to follow
Amen.
her while she's
Amen.
the ability is there because eventually it may not be available. But I'm already going to be there, so I'm gonna just look at you like I would say I told you so, but that might be mean, and I don't do mean stuff on purpose. So you
And
guys, okay?
before we go, I just wanted to say to you, Miss Janisha, um, you don't recognize it, but you are such a light. You are such a light. And I'm just like, where she came from? Where she came from? I am in this phase in my life where I am really honestly recognizing the value of people. And sweetheart, you are definitely a crown in God. I mean, a jewel in God's crown. I want you to know that.
Amen.
You really are. You really, really are. And I appreciate you for being who you are in the last, what, 90 days since we've met. You have been awesome and amazing. And I really do appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I love the whole new community that when you pray for something, like I used to pray for friends growing up. I didn't have any. Part of it was my choice to be a Christian at a young age. The other part of it was my mindset. I didn't get that I had to have a different mindset, a positive mindset. I allowed the things that people did and said hurt me too. I took it too personally. And instead of shaking it off and knowing who I was in Christ, I didn't know how to do that. I folded under and decided to go the depression route simply because I discovered that when I'm angry, it's dangerous. So the easiest way to not hurt anybody else or myself was to be depressed, which is hurtful. I just didn't know it for a really long time. But once I changed the way I thought, God started bringing all of these people. Like I made an effort. I wasn't even close to where I should have been when I started. And then God started bringing amazing people around me. And I was like, oh, I have friends. So I am honored to know you guys. I am honored to realize that my circle really consists of people who are here for me. And like I'm here for them, like I'm receiving the love that I've always given out. And it is an awesome thing to receive love because I've never known how to do that before, especially from myself to myself. And I know that I hope you're not thinking that I'm trying to be arrogant or anything. I really didn't like me. I really thought something was wrong with me. I really was asking God to change me and fix me so that people will like me. And God was like, well, once you like you, you realize I don't have to change much. Everyone else will like you too. And when I started doing it, I really got into a space where I am cool people. If I don't have a friend, I'm okay. It's just you and me, Jesus. Song says, as long as I got King Jesus, I don't need nobody else. I was like, she may have a couple of points here because I don't have to worry about he said, she said, they said, you said, I said, nobody said, because that's not my thing anyway. And I didn't say nothing to nobody about nothing, and I can still help people and I can still be kind and then just come home and chill. Like, but then once I had the attitude that I love me and I believed it and I did it, God brought me people to not only love me too, but to show me how to carry out the things that I dream about and how to be the author and the speaker. I didn't even know I could be a speaker. I love to sing more than I love to do anything else. So the more I'm meeting my circle, the more I am grateful to God for showing me how to love me despite my flaws or despite my issues. So I am totally blessed and honored to be in the couple of 30-day challenges we have. I'm looking forward to the next thing Sheila does. I'm just sitting in the rocking chair like this, waiting to see what color Mrs. put on the wall next. I'm just waiting to see what color she throw on the wall next, because I don't want to miss the next thing she has. I'm still working to get my coaching set up to where all I have to do is reach out to a coach and be like, okay, what we doing? So that I can stay on the course to where I'm going. So thank you for those kind words because it took me a while to get here, to get to a space where I am the light and not filled with a whole bunch of darkness and sadness. Because that there was a day that was me too, and it wasn't intentional. It was just what I thought I had to be because then I thought people would feel sorry for me and then maybe they would like me, and I had the complete wrong mindset, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing now. So I'm looking forward to doing more. I can't wait to finish these 100-day lives so I can get into the writing flow like I want to and finish, put my books back on the shelf. I took them off. I want to put them back on. And there's a lot of them because I've written new ones since then. So, whoops. But once I finish putting them back on the shelf, all I have to do is promote and be like, yeah, there's like 300 something books. So you're muted, so I can't hear you. But yeah, I write my dreams down or I write my daydreams down. Can we say hi to Mister? He can say hi if you want him to.
You want to say hi?
Sure, sure.
Hi, handsome. How are
Hello.
you?
Good.
You know what? There are other 10-year-olds that will probably watch this, right? So, what would you tell them to encourage them to be great? Do you have any words of wisdom you can share with them on how they can be great at 10?
Um, Keep focusing in school and don't that don't follow people and also don't get into trouble if you know you're wandering crazy like that. And that's all like
Okay, that's good. That's what I'm talking about. See what I'm saying? Awesome mom, awesome author. When the kids show up like he just showed up. So to y'all 10-year-old kids, stay in school, get your education, listen to your moms. He got his mom over here in tears. I'm choking mine back because I gotta. Yeah. So yeah, you heard it from him first. And a little child shall lead them. I'm just saying. We read about Jeremiah yesterday, and Jeremiah was 10 when God called him to be the prophet. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So just pay attention, be great. I guess that is everything. You guys have an awesome, contagious weekend. That is a weekend so awesome, it's contagious. I made the word up like last year sometime. It was fun for me. I still love it. And I will see you tomorrow on a live for day 90 and 1. I will have another song for you. Hopefully, you guys will stick around to hear this one. And I'm just going to keep singing until I get over the whatever this is. So, see you later. Sinie, did you have any final words?
I do not. I do thank you again for having me on. It was a entire pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for your inviting me.
It is my pleasure, and thank you for coming to Blue Olive's Corner. You guys, you're going to hear more stories like this. We're going to talk about books, we're going to talk about everything. Because what I want to do is open the door and open your minds to the yes, you can of things, because the world already tells us no, we can't. So why not hear somebody say yes, you can? Just like on Nutty Professor. Yes, you can. Okay, I'm not that big, but you get the point. All right, have a good one, and y'all be safe. Bye. Okay, so we're going to end this.